Greetings and welcome to the Stoic Wisdom channel. Have you ever wondered why your mind always feels tired, even though life continues to flow every day? Could it be due to the pressure from work, family, or the constant expectations from yourself? Or perhaps that burden comes from holding on to the past or trying to control things that aren't even yours to control? Ladies and gentlemen, mental fatigue does not stem from life being too difficult. Sometimes it arises from the way we confront challenges and emotions within ourselves. The truth is, knowing how to let go and live harmoniously in the present is the key to finding inner peace. But how do we achieve this? In today's video, we will explore the deep-rooted causes that make people feel exhausted and distressed, and at the same time, discover methods to overcome them. These are not merely theoretical lessons, but valuable experiences that help each person find happiness in the present. If you find this content helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe to the Stoic Wisdom channel to continue joining us on the journey of exploring wisdom and inner peace. Let's begin right now. Point 1. Holding on to the past or living for the present. One of the main reasons our minds feel tired is the indecision between holding on to things that have happened in the past and letting them go to live in the present. Life, by nature, is an endless flow. There are memorable moments and valuable lessons we need to keep, but there are also pain, loss, and mistakes we should let go of at the right time so we don't harm ourselves. However, letting go is never easy. Some people cannot let go and their minds are burdened by old memories. They keep asking themselves what if, or if only ... double quotes, and miss the precious moments of the present. This not only causes them to suffer, but also causes them to lose opportunities to experience true joy in life. Letting go doesn't mean completely forgetting. It means accepting what has happened, seeing it with a calm heart, and allowing the past to become a part of our journey, rather than a chain that binds us. As someone with experience, I want to share with you that happiness is not about holding on to what has passed, but about how we face the present. When we know how to let go of unnecessary burdens, we will feel a sense of lightness and freedom within our soul. So, the question is, do we have enough courage to let go? This is not an easy decision, but once we do it, our minds will feel much calmer. 2. Human psychology before suffering. When it comes to suffering, most of us tend to look for the cause outside of ourselves. We often think that our pain comes from circumstances or even from other people. But have we ever stopped to ask ourselves whether the pain really comes solely from the outside or if part of it originates from within us? The reality that not everyone realizes is that suffering does not distinguish between the rich or the poor, or between those with high or low status. We often hear complaints from both people living in luxury and those facing hardships. So why do some people always have a smile on their face while others are immersed in suffering? This, ladies and gentlemen, stems from the inner self. Those who accept reality, live simply, and do not compare themselves or their achievements to others tend to feel at peace. On the other hand, those who are caught up in comparison, jealousy, or dissatisfaction with life will find their minds constantly tormented. Instead of focusing on things we do not have or cannot control, we need to ask ourselves, what do I truly want? What do I expect from life? And are those expectations realistic? When we recognize that suffering is not only caused by external circumstances, but largely stems from our mindset, we will begin to understand that peace is right within our reach. It is not something we find outside of ourselves, but rather the way we face our inner selves. Life is not always easy, but remember, suffering only truly disappears when we change our perspective on life, when we learn to accept, let go, and question ourselves. This is the path to inner peace. 3. Mistakes in the search for happiness. We all desire happiness, but many people fall into mistakes when seeking it. One of the main reasons people feel tired and suffer is their stubbornness in trying to control everything in life. We often think that in order to be happy, everything must go exactly as we want. This causes us to try to control everything around us, people, events, and even our environment. We make plans, invest time, effort, and even mental energy to mold everything according to our desires. But, ladies and gentlemen, life is not perfect, and things often do not go the way we expect. When things don't go our way, a sense of helplessness and disappointment sets in, leaving us more exhausted. If you take a moment to reflect, you'll realize that every event in life is the result of a chain of causes and conditions stretching far back into the past, not only from when we were born but from millions of years ago. Everything has been shaped in its own unique way, and we cannot change this natural flow. The only thing we can control is how we react and act in response to what happens. Rather than trying to control things that are beyond our power, we should learn to live in harmony with nature. When we align ourselves with the present and do not resist or demand, our souls will feel lighter. This is not passivity, but the wise attitude of someone who understands that trying to change what cannot be changed only brings unnecessary suffering. Life is constantly changing. Instead of clinging to the impermanent, focus on building inner peace. It is through acceptance and adaptation that we find true happiness. 4. Seeking happiness in the wrong way. In the journey to find happiness, many people confuse temporary feelings of joy with lasting happiness. We often place our expectations for happiness on external factors: successful work, a beautiful love, or even exciting and intense experiences. But is that happiness truly long-lasting? The happiness we seek from the outside world is often fleeting. It is like a beautiful butterfly that comes in a brief moment and flies away, leaving us with emptiness and a longing for more. This causes people to fall into a cycle of exhaustion, always chasing new goals without ever feeling fulfilled. The truth is, the outside world is constantly changing. What we find happy today might not hold the same meaning tomorrow. By constantly chasing temporary things, we often forget about our inner selves, where true happiness can be nourished. Ladies and gentlemen, the basic state of a human being is natural peace. When we let go of all expectations and live harmoniously with the present, our bodies will naturally release chemicals that generate feelings of happiness without relying on external factors. This shows that true happiness lies within us, not in distant goals we strive to achieve. However, this does not mean we should completely abandon community life to seek personal happiness. On the contrary, the balance between social involvement and nurturing the inner self is the key to achieving serenity. Live with purpose, but do not let that purpose become a burden. Love and give, but do not let the recognition from others define your self-worth. People have the ability to feel happiness from within as long as we learn to listen to our inner selves, cherish what we have, and live harmoniously with our true nature. We will find true and lasting joy. In the end, happiness is not something we chase. It is a state we create from our own attitude toward life. 5. Negative thoughts leading to suffering. In the journey to find inner peace, one reality that not everyone easily accepts is that suffering often originates from negative thoughts hidden deep within ourselves. These are not necessarily wrong actions, but negative thoughts and emotions that we fail to recognize or refuse to acknowledge. There is a story where a kind person went to ask a teacher why they always felt suffering, while others they considered unworthy were living peacefully. The teacher replied, "If your heart does not contain evil, you will not feel suffering." This may sound strange at first, but hidden behind this statement is a profound truth. Negative emotions such as greed, jealousy, arrogance, ignorance, and narrow-mindedness within the heart are the root causes that prevent us from being happy. Take a moment to reflect, and you will realize that greed makes us never feel enough, no matter how much we have. Jealousy causes discomfort when others achieve things we don't have. Arrogance leads us to think we are always right and to easily judge others. Ignorance, or stubbornness, blinds us to reality, while narrow-mindedness prevents us from being tolerant, even toward those we love the most. These negative thoughts not only cause us pain, but also affect those around us. Think about it. If we could let go of greed, we would see how many things we already have that are worth appreciating. If we gave up jealousy, we would feel joy from the success of others. If we replaced arrogance with humility, we would open ourselves up to learning and growing. The teacher in the story did not suggest changing the circumstances or blaming others, but guided the person to look deeply within themselves. It is the pure heart, free from negative thoughts, that holds the key to ending suffering. So instead of seeking the cause of suffering outside, let's take time to reflect on ourselves. Begin by recognizing negative emotions and gradually replace them with kindness, acceptance, and positive attitudes. When the inner self becomes peaceful, suffering will naturally dissolve like mist. This journey is not easy, but it is worthwhile because when we eliminate negative thoughts, we not only find peace for ourselves, but also spread happiness to those around us. Point 6. Evolution and suffering. We often wish for a happy, perfect life without suffering, but few people realize that suffering is an inevitable part of life and even a driving force for human evolution. It may sound paradoxical, but let's think about it. Happiness, by nature, is an emotional state created by our body through hormones like dopamine and endorphins. These positive emotions are rewards from nature whenever we achieve something, a goal, an accomplishment, or even a small joy in daily life. However, these feelings do not last forever. Nature intentionally designs them this way to motivate us to keep striving, seeking, and developing. Imagine if we always felt happy and satisfied without doing anything. What would happen? Our bodies would lose the drive to survive, no longer needing food, work, or creativity. In a short time, we would lose the will to live and struggle to adapt to environmental changes. Evolution, therefore, creates a sense of lack and suffering to force humans to keep moving forward. From this perspective, suffering is not the enemy. It is a reminder, a quiet motivator that helps us improve ourselves, surpass our limits, and continue the evolutionary journey of humanity. However, this does not mean that we should embrace suffering without seeking ways to face it positively. Instead, we should understand that suffering exists not to destroy us, but to teach us how to adapt, change, and grow. One important lesson from evolution is, don't expect happiness to last forever because that is unrealistic. Happiness is not the destination, but the fleeting moments along a long journey. The key is not to chase happiness, but to learn to harmonize with both happiness and suffering so we can live more meaningfully and deeply. Ladies and gentlemen, be grateful for the hardships in life because they help us appreciate what we have, push us to strive harder, and remind us that humans are constantly evolving to adapt to life's changes. When we understand that suffering has its meaning, our minds become calmer, and we move through life with an attitude full of acceptance and hope. Ladies and gentlemen, suffering is an essential part of life, but how we face it is what truly matters. Life doesn't promise us eternal happiness, but it gives us the ability to find joy and peace right in our present reality. As we explored together in this video, suffering does not only come from external factors, but often arises from ill will, unrealistic expectations, or our attachment to the past. Instead of trying to control the things that cannot be changed, learn to let go, accept, and live in harmony with the present. Life is a journey, not a destination. Happiness is not found in distant things we pursue but in the serenity of each moment we are living. Let's appreciate what we have, understand ourselves, and from there, transform negative emotions into motivation for growth and maturity. Thank you for taking the time to listen and join us on the Stoic Wisdom channel today. If these insights have provided you with a new perspective or a bit of peace in your heart, please like and subscribe to the channel to continue following more meaningful content. Slow down, let go of the burdens, and aim for a peaceful life. I wish you always find happiness, even in the simplest things. Goodbye, and see you in the next videos. Next, let's listen to the article, 8 Classic Life Stories to help you understand the nature of life. There's a saying that life is like a road. No matter how far we go, we should not forget the original purpose we set out with. Below are 8 stories that bring enlightenment. Let's explore and reflect together. Point 1. Learn to accept and let go. An old man carrying a porcelain bowl suddenly dropped it on the road, shattering into pieces. But the old man continued walking forward without looking back. A passerby asked, "Why don't you look back at your bowl after it's broken?" The old man replied, "Even if I look back, the bowl is already broken." You have to learn to accept and let go of what you have lost, because many greater things will not come back just because of your sadness. 2. Don't envy blindly. When a parrot met a crow, it felt comfortable. The crow, free in the wild, made the parrot envious. The parrot envied the crow's freedom, while the crow envied the parrot's comfort, so they agreed to exchange places. The crow found some comfort, but rarely saw its owner happy and eventually died from depression. The parrot found freedom but never found comfort, and after some time could not survive on its own, dying of hunger. Don't envy blindly the happiness of others, it might not be suitable for you. In old age, don't compare with others, live your own best life. That is the right path. 3. Knowing when to let go to achieve something. The teacher asked a man who wanted to boil water. When it was half done, he realized he didn't have enough firewood. What should he do? Some students said, quickly find more firewood, while others suggested, borrow or buy some. The teacher said, why not pour the water out? In life, things don't always go as planned. Only when you let go can you achieve something. As we grow older, our strength is limited, so let go of the unnecessary and focus on the things and people you truly care about. 4 true friends exist. The cat and the pig were good friends. One day, the cat fell into a deep hole. The pig brought a rope, but threw the whole bundle down. The cat, frustrated, said, how can you pull me up if you throw it like this? The pig replied, what else can I do? The cat said, hold one end of the rope tightly. The pig jumped down, grabbed one end of the rope, and said, it's done now. Some people might not be very smart, but they are worthy of your true friendship. 5. There is no perfect path. An old monk asked a young monk, if advancing one step leads to death, and retreating one step also leads to death, what should one do? The young monk replied without hesitation, I would step aside. There is no perfect path, and when you encounter a dilemma in life, from a different angle, you will realize there is always a way out. 6. What you give may not be what others need. On the first day, the white rabbit went fishing but caught nothing. On the second day, it went fishing again, but still caught nothing. On the third day, a big fish jumped out of the river and said, if you dare use a carrot as bait again, I will crush you. What you think is something you want to give may not be what others need. As you grow, you need to understand this better, especially when it comes to harmonizing with your children. Don't calculate too much. Point 7. You can't expect others to give what you don't give yourself. Many poor people asked Buddha, why am I poor? Buddha said, you haven't learned to give to others. The poor man replied, how can I give when I have nothing? Buddha answered, even those with nothing can give. One can give through a positive attitude, a smile, kind words, or a helping hand. Give with your heart, with a humble and compassionate spirit, and you will be surprised by the happiness and wealth that will come to you. 8. Worrying too much will not bring achievements. Someone asked a farmer, have you planted wheat yet? The farmer replied, no, I'm worried it won't rain. The man asked again, have you planted cotton? The farmer replied, no, I'm worried about pests eating the cotton. The man then asked, so what are you planting? The farmer replied, nothing. I just want to keep it safe. Worrying too much will only lead to being bound and achieving nothing. Learn to let go and courageously move forward. Next, let's listen to the article, Contentment is True Happiness and the Flavor of the Soul. Every leaf on a tree is similar, yet no two leaves are identical. Everything in the world, like smoke and clouds, has its own unique qualities. People are the same. Each person has their own strengths. Plainness, too, is a special color. People are always busy chasing wealth and status, lost in trivial and mundane matters. These things fill up our human existence. Without moments of emptiness in life, in the end, one might win over others, but lose to themselves. Life, without moments of stillness, will never find peace in the heart and joy in the spirit. In this world, the art of living sometimes lies in creating moments of emptiness. Contentment is true happiness, the flavor of the soul. People often insist on living according to their own desires, seeking the sweetness of love, marital fulfillment, or career success. In fact, they are all searching for the flavor of happiness for their souls. Happiness is something that people keep thinking about. When it's unattainable, it slips into our dreams, but when we have it, it feels tasteless. Therefore, contentment is the greatest happiness, the true flavor of the soul. Life takes many forms. Living a life you love is the ideal way to live. On the journey of life, learn to enjoy life and persist in finding the lifestyle that makes you happiest. Returning to the heart is the most meaningful path. When the sun rises in the east, after a night, it returns to the west. In a race, whether it's 5,000 meters or 10,000 meters, if you don't return to the starting point, your achievements will forever remain null. Everything starts from zero and eventually returns to zero. This is a simple, humble, and straightforward philosophy of life, the most peaceful yet powerful one in the world. Returning to gentleness and strength is the true fulfillment of life. Born with talent, we all have the ability to fulfill our destiny. The talent we are born with is the key to unlocking our potential, the door to success. While all the leaves on a tree may seem similar, each one is unique, just like all living beings, who have their own specialties. Some have talents in leadership, while others excel in poetry, music, or dance, or they may possess wisdom in human interaction. The most important thing is to treasure oneself, preserve the mental garden, and maintain one's integrity and uniqueness to become the best version of oneself. Suffering is the first ray of light of wisdom. It is a hidden grace from the Creator, a reminder of happiness, or a hint of a genius soon to emerge. It tells you that you are carrying a great mission. Deep inside every heart, there are personal sufferings and a window leading toward success and happiness. That door to success is always hidden, but as long as you have the courage to step forward, success will warmly embrace you. The secret to success is to hold tight to your goals. However, success is not an arrogant pass for the winner. Success, in this world, is just an achievement in a certain aspect. Understanding this, both you and I will no longer need to hold our heads too high. Calmness is the true essential in life. Money is neither an angel nor a devil, it is simply a tool. Whether it is good or bad depends on the mind of the person. When money is sufficient and brings satisfaction, it is like an angel. But when it brings trouble, it becomes like a demon. Money, fame, and wealth are just embellishments in life. People are busy seeking comfort for the future, but only in a state of calm can we truly enjoy life. After 50 years of age is the ideal time to enjoy this serenity. Next, let's read about the true beauty of knowing how to control your emotions and desires. There is a great saying in the parchment scrolls that if you can control yourself, you've already won half the battle in life. The greatest enemy is never an opponent or others, but yourself. In Program 13, Professor Liu Jing, a philosopher, shared a phenomenon that students' ability to focus and read is decreasing because they spend too much time on their phones and watching all kinds of information and videos. They cannot control themselves to delay gratification. Liu Jing called this phenomenon adulthood infantilization, meaning as people grow older, it becomes more difficult to control oneself, leading to a loss of control over life. Only by controlling oneself can we truly achieve freedom in life. You can start by practicing 3 things to regain a sense of control over your life. 1. Control your emotions and maintain a calm attitude. Someone once said that if you let emotions run wild, it not only hurts others but also harms yourself. Not long ago, there was a news story about a mother in Hubei who lost control after her daughter failed an exam. She threw her daughter onto the highway and then drove away. Fortunately, with the help of the police, the child was safely brought home, and the mother deeply regretted her loss of control. The main difference between adults and children is that children express their emotions, while adults must learn to control their emotions. Being able to feel and properly handle your emotions is a sign of maturity. In the TV series The Ordinary Path, a newcomer named Fanyan gained recognition and affection from clients, not only due to his serious and hard-working attitude but also because of his ability to control his emotions and empathize with others. Once, a big client needed to urgently contact Lawyer Du, but couldn't. In an emergency, Fanyan pretended to be Du's assistant and drafted a letter for approval. The client appreciated it. When Lawyer Du found out, he reprimanded Fanyan severely and even kicked him out. If this had happened to an ordinary person, they would have likely resigned and left. However, Fanyan did not let his emotions control him. He calmly explained the entire story to Lawyer Du, who then looked at him with admiration. When handling a divorce case for Zhong Ruma, his colleagues tended to use legal procedures to solve the problem. But Fanyan believed that if emotions were stable, everything could be solved more easily. He not only solved the problem successfully but also gained more trust from clients. He won several awards in the legal field. People who can stabilize their emotions are more likely to achieve success and live comfortably. Psychologist Guo Tuquin said that a real manager is one who manages people's emotions. Sometimes, because of being controlled by emotions, we tend to act impulsively or say hurtful things, resulting in both parties suffering. Controlling life starts with controlling your emotions. Only by learning to control your emotions and maintain a peaceful mindset can you control your life. To stop comparing and take time to go at your own pace. A popular question is, what is the hardest thing in life? One answer that has been highly praised is, the hardest thing is to keep moving forward at your own pace without comparing yourself to others. Follow your own desires. If you follow in someone else's footsteps, you'll miss the beauty along the way. Only by maintaining your own pace can you appreciate all the beautiful scenery and live a wonderful life. My friend, Wen Feng, loves writing. With the motto of not procrastinating, she uses her free time every day to find topics, gather materials, and write according to the plan she has set. She can generally write a paper in 1 week and submit it to a smaller platform. But when she tried to submit her work to larger platforms, she was always rejected. To improve her writing skills, Wen Feng enrolled in an online writing course. She was very confident at first, but soon became anxious because her writing group had too many experts. One day, a classmate conquered a large stage, and the next day another classmate successfully published a book. Seeing this, she became worried, but the more she worried, the less she could write. She couldn't even overcome the small stage she had previously been able to handle. After reflecting, Wan Feng realized she had been influenced by the speed of others. When you compare yourself constantly, how can you write well? From then on, she decided to stop comparing herself with others and focus on moving at her own pace. 1.5 years later, she not only successfully submitted her manuscript to a larger platform, but also became a contracted author on several platforms. People say that we should grow like bamboo, work hard, relax properly, and follow our own rhythm to achieve our own success. In this rapidly developing age, most people worrying. The more they worrying about the outcome, the worse they do. Instead of rushing to achieve results, move at your own speed. Only by giving yourself a bit of patience and developing at your own pace can you go further. In the poem New York Before California, 3 hours ahead, it is written, everyone has their own hour. You neither go before nor behind according to the script, but according to the destiny laid out for you. Everything will happen on time as long as you continue moving at your own pace and focus on what you are doing. You will surely achieve a better version of yourself and live a wonderful life. 3. Control your desires and be content with what you have. The philosopher Schopenhauer once said, man is just a ball of desires. Moderate desires can stimulate the spirit and encourage action, but excessive desire leads to endless pain. Therefore, controlling desires is one of the greatest lessons in life. The Japanese tycoon Kazuo Inomori once said, not being able to control desires is a disaster in life. Once bound by the rope of lust, you lose your freedom and lose yourself. If you cannot control your appetite, it will be difficult to have an attractive body. If you cannot control your mobile phone, you will lose freedom and cannot break free. If you do not let go of greed, you will fall into the world of fame and fortune. Truly wise people understand that only by controlling their desires can they seize control of their lives and live the life they want. Life is a journey of mastering oneself, facing personal weaknesses and external temptations. Slowly improve yourself and seek a better version of yourself. Manage your emotions well, maintain a peaceful mind, keep a good rhythm, have a steady pace, and control your desires. Transform yourself into a wise person. I wish you a wonderful journey, nurturing a kind soul, and living the way you desire until the end of your life.